Hello everybody and welcome back to Certified Collectibles. This is another episode of First Appearance of the Week. This is Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. We'll be giving you all the first appearance in your comic shops today. Now this week we got a pretty light video for you guys. I think we only have 4 first appearances, 2 honorable mentions, so only 6 titles on to go through, but there's definitely some books in here you guys should pick up for your collection. So let's go ahead and get started for the first appearance of the week, beginning July 18th, 2025. First up from DC Comics, Robin and Batman Jason Todd number 2. This features the first full appearance of the Wraith. Now, we mention this all the time with the DC Comics. DC first appearances are definitely going to be a little more speculative than the Marvel first appearances. DC doesn't really have the cinematic power that Marvel Disney has. Marvel Disney can bring a lot of these characters to the screen, get fans and collectors to become aware of these characters, and send collectors racing back to the secondary market to try to find these first appearances. DC doesn't really have that. They're definitely trying. They brought James Gunn into the DCU to try to revitalize that universe. And the first feature film in the James Gunn reimagined DC universe, Superman, did just release to theaters to kind of mixed reviews. Time will tell how that's going to perform long term. But if Gunn's able to bring fans and collectors to the cinema to see these DC feature films, and if they start doing well, you'll definitely see some streaming series as well, and definitely more feature films. And if you do start seeing a lot more projects on the small screen and big screen, they can bring some of these characters from the modern comics onto the screen. That'll definitely be a big boon for these characters, get fans and collectors to become aware of them, get a lot more eyes on them, definitely send collectors back to the secondary market to try to find those books. But for right now, definitely going to be speculative. We really have to see what James Gunn's going to be able to do with the DCU. If he's able to create the same cinematic power that the Marvel Cinematic Universe had back during the Infinity Saga, then there's definitely going to be a lot of room to run for some of these new characters. But in the meantime, definitely going to be speculative. In my opinion, probably worth picking up for the cover price to spec on. Grab this here for a spec if you can. Can't put it in B-list, but definitely keep an eye on this one. Next up from DC Comics, Absolute Batman number 10. This features the first appearance of Waylon Jones as the Absolute Killer Croc. Now, Killer Croc has been one of the longest running villains in the Batman universe. Batman and Killer Croc have been going head to head for decades. So the fact that they're actually introducing this absolute version of Killer Croc into this series, this is one, in my opinion, definitely worth picking up. We mention this every time with these absolute titles. Anytime they bring a brand new character into this series, or an absolute version of an existing character, these absolute titles, these are definitely worth owning in your collection at the cover price. Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, and Absolute Wonder Woman, these books still going incredibly strong. Hugely popular with fans and collectors. So like I said, anytime they bring a new character or the absolute version of an existing character into this series, these are ones you definitely want to pick up for your collection. Go ahead and grab this one. Next up for Marvel Comics, Deadpool Wolverine number 7. This features the first appearance of Legacy. Now this Deadpool Wolverine mashup series, this is definitely a B series for Marvel Comics. This is not one of their tentpole or mainstay title series. This series does feature 2 of the most popular characters in the Marvel Universe though. You have Deadpool and Wolverine here. And this one here has hit our list a few times with first appearances. We really don't know how long this series is going to last, or if the characters introduced in the series are going to have any impact on the greater Marvel Universe. But like we always tell you guys, with Marvel Comics, you typically want to pick up the first appearance of new characters in these titles anyway, because like I said before, Marvel Disney, cinematic powerhouse, they're still churning out a ton of media for small screen and big screen. If they bring these characters onto the screen, collectors are going to race back and try to find these first appearances. So in my opinion, definitely worth picking up for your collection. If you can, go ahead and grab this one. And finally from Marvel Comics, New Champions number 7. This features the first appearance of Night Drifter. Once again, first appearance of a new character in a Marvel title, probably worth picking up at the cover price. This new Champion series here, this does have a fan base and collector base, and they're bringing a new character into this title series, so this one here does have some legs. Like I said, there is a fan base and collector base for the new Champions title series. And this Night Drifter character, we really don't know if they're going to bring this character across more title series or into the greater Marvel Universe, but like I said before, typically always worth picking up the first appearance of new characters in Marvel titles at the cover price. You typically can't go wrong. $3 or $4 could be sitting on a huge winner here if this character goes big. So in my opinion, another one you should pick up for your collection if you can. Go ahead and grab this one. And now for the honorable mentions. From Image Comics, This Ends Tonight number 1. This here is a 3-issue series of interconnected stories of violence and mayhem in Las Vegas. The only time you have stories of violence and mayhem set on the backdrop of Las Vegas, this one here to me screams great option opportunity. When I first saw the solicitation for this a few months ago, we actually went pretty big on this one because like I said, it sounds like it has great option opportunity. Like I said, violence and mayhem in Las Vegas, this sounds like it could be a great streaming series or feature film. So in my opinion, this one here has a strong potential to be option. Only time will tell. If this does get picked up an option, this one here can go big. If it doesn't, it may go nowhere. But like I said, with these small press and indie publishers, we do typically buy heavier on these than we do the superhero books, just because a lot of people don't really pick these up when they first come out. They kind of wait for any news to develop, and then they try to chase them down later on for more money. But we try to pick these up right when they come out, right when they hit the shelf. So this one here, we did go big on, because this one here, to me, sounds like it has great potential. Still going to be speculative, because you are speccing on this, getting picked up an option, getting a lot more eyes on this title, and get collectors to race back and try to find this premiere issue. So if you can, grab this here for a spec. If you can't, though, put in your B-list, but definitely keep an eye on this one. And finally from Image Comics, Ghost Pepper #1. A food truck owner's most recent customer may be the key to saving the world if he doesn't destroy it first. Once again, we thought this one here had great option potential, and Image Comics has had a lot of their titles picked up an option in the past. I really like the fact that this here featured a food truck owner as one of the key protagonists, so in my opinion, this one here has great option potential. Definitely going to be speculative, because you are speccing on this getting picked up an option, driving the price up in the secondary market. But once again, for the cover price, probably worth the spec. Grab this here for a spec if you can. If you can't, put it in your B-list, but definitely keep an eye on this one as well. So there you have the 6 titles we have for you guys this week. Definitely some books in there you guys should pick up for your collection. So please feel free to drop some comments in the comment section below. Thumbs up if you like this video. And as always, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for joining us here at Certified Collectibles, and we'll see you again next time.